Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak. And for those of you watching on YouTube, as my wife says, you shaved. Not really, but yeah.
You did.
I didn't. I just buzzed. Like my beard was getting long and hot, and
It's not hot yet.
it was a little.
It's still rather chilly.
I was hot. I was a little worked up.
Okay.
All that extra work in the garage. So anyway, this is the Stuff I Heard podcast, and I happen to have a lovely co-host today. You all know her, love her. She's the one and amazing Dolores.
You know my voice.
Yeah, she's like a ghost. You can't see her, but you know she's there. Ooh.
I'm not a ghost. I'm just not getting dressed hair and makeup for a podcast.
We don't have a hair
looks at a podcast.
We don't have a hair and makeup budget.
We don't. No, we don't. we do not.
We need a whole wardrobe department and a hair and makeup department and all that fun stuff.
I don't know. I need some spackle and plaster for that.
Well,
and no, we do not have a budget for that.
Listen, this morning I woke up and saw my hair and I was like, whoa, I need hair and wardrobe to take over. This is going to be a hat day. How about that?
We don't have hair and wardrobe money.
No, we do not. It is tax season, so we were able to do our taxes yesterday. I say able to. I know there's a lot of people that try to avoid it like the plague, and we wait till the last minute just because we're not in a hurry to stand in line and fight with all the people that are anxious to get back their refunds when we.
Well, that's because we don't get back a refund.
We're probably going to have to.
We're not going to talk about how much we pay or even get back, but it doesn't happen often. We're not in a rush to go file taxes for a reason.
No, and I mean I'm lucky in the fact that there was a time when I went down there where I was really broke and thought I don't even know if I have money to pay these people to do my taxes, but hopefully they're going to cut me some kind of break because I had just come out of the military and I started using a local place here in Florence just because of word of mouth. Everybody I worked with was like, I'll go up here to this place, and I'm like, all right, I'll go up there too. And I just happened to sit down and talk to a lady who still does our taxes today, 26 years later. And she's super nice and she helped me out. And so it wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. So
we pay in enough as we have the most. Well, we have a lot of deductions taken out of our tax, out of our check, so that we don't have to pay an absorbent amount whenever we file taxes.
Apparently, I washed my hands, but I missed washing my arm because I'm dirty. So yeah, but yeah, we did our taxes yesterday, and that was good to get that done and taken care of. One more adult responsibility out of the way.
And I'm completely shocked. I actually heard a conversation. It's been a couple weeks ago now, because taxes usually start getting filed the first, like mid-January. I guess some people
can get their W-2s online now, like mid-January, and they'll be able to just use their W-2 online to be able to file their taxes.
Well, my company actually has access to it online, and then they do mail a copy of it.
Yeah.
But we've never been one to rush down there and wait, because I've seen it back when rapid
refund was a big
started, which you can get your money a lot quicker that way. I think you lose a percentage or something. I've never been a rapid refund person, number one, because don't get back much to speak of.
I can remember back in the day, I needed that rapid refund.
Yeah,
because I was struggling, and it was like you had to give them a percentage of whatever your refund was.
Yes.
Just to be able to get.
But now that was back in the day when we had deductions. You had kids.
They would write you a check.
We don't have deductions anymore.
Take this to the bank and cash it. This is your money.
What was that?
I don't know. Let's pause this for just a second. Okay, so we're picking up where we left off.
we thought we were getting broken into on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, my first thought was, who home invades on a Sunday afternoon? Then I thought, wait, what did I hang up that's now falling off the wall in the garage, or what fell in the attic? There's all kind of thoughts I had of all of a sudden just, what did I do?
Yeah, it was me.
And it wasn't me.
So. It was the vacuum cleaner that I had in the washroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to vacuum the rugs out in the garage, and I want to do it later. So, yeah, that propped it up. It fell over.
Oh, you're going to be vacuuming the garage.
Yeah, I usually vacuum the rugs out there.
Oh, we just raise our pinkies whenever we handle our drinks now. I'm just going to vacuum.
Well, I don't know. I just don't want to track that stuff in the house.
I do need to sweep out the garage first before you vacuum, because there's some drilling that I did that needs to be swept out.
Yeah, but we can't move my car just yet, can
I
we?
know we don't have. You're not. It's not under your car.
We're
It's under
still
my.
having car. I'm still having car issues.
Yeah, I'm not exactly happy with. I don't know that it's Nissan's fault. I think this is a battery's fault. I think the battery people just gave you a bad battery or made a bad battery.
I don't know. I just know my car is only 5 years and a couple of months old. It was 5 years in September because when we bought it, I bought it brand new. It had what less than 100 miles on it,
Yeah.
and it's lived in the garage. I don't park it out in the weather except for when I'm at work. I just don't understand. We just keep having
So here's the thing.
things wrong with it. It seems like
We replaced the starter, but it may not have been the starter at all. It may have been just the battery all along.
I don't know.
But that's a good thing because then you don't have to worry about a starter for the next 5 years.
Yep, very true. I mean, but still, I mean, it's only got 82,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a lot. I've always heard that Nissans,
But batteries has nothing to do with Nissan.
very true.
Battery is a battery.
Very true.
So it could be just the battery that's giving us this heartache that we're constantly thinking there's something wrong with the car, and there's not something wrong with the car. It could be being just the battery. So I don't want to blame Nissan, even though I'm really frustrated with working on Nissans because man, they pack so much in such a tight area. It's almost like they took a note from Apple and they were like, "Hey, how do we utilize more of this space? Let's get rid of more of the space and make it all really compact. And I don't want any air in between here. Let's just get it really close to everything else. And if they want to take something apart, they got to take off 12 things to get to it, and we'll just make it super complicated."
Yeah, I don't know. This is actually my second Nissan in my life. I had one. The very first car I purchased was a Nissan Sentra. That was, I think it was an
You know,
83.
The weird component of that is
What?
my first car was a Datsun, which Datsun became Nissan.
Oh,
So that's kind of a weird.
I had a little Nissan
little
5-speed. Didn't even have, did it have?
You said you didn't have AC.
I didn't have AC. No, I had AC in this one. I can't remember. I had to choose between AC and a radio. And of course, I was 18 years old. I chose the radio. Don't know why. I can't remember if the little Nissan had air conditioning in it or not. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was cheap, dirt cheap, dirt cheap. And it was amazing. I sold the little thing and I don't even remember how many miles it had on it. Made money on it. Never had 1 minute's worth of trouble with it at all, ever. And I don't know. It's for years I drove company cars, so there was a really long time that I went without a vehicle because I had a company car. I want to say from what 2000 and it's before we moved in here. So maybe like 2006 until 2019, I had a company car.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't go out and buy the vehicle that I wanted or a vehicle shop or anything like that. So that's whenever I don't know why I chose the Nissan this time, but I do believe
I'm glad you got the Nissan and not the Cadillac.
Yeah, I mean, I guess who knows? I mean, would we be having this kind of trouble with if it was a Cadillac? I don't know.
Still, it's a battery. I don't think it's the Nissan. I think it's the battery.
It's just I don't know. I don't know if I will own another Nissan again. So
harsh words for the battery people.
Well, I'm not buying anything anytime soon. We are the kind of people that buy vehicles and keep them.
So, yeah, and nowadays, like I had this conversation with somebody this week. Nowadays, you have to learn how to work on your own stuff unless you're just willing to throw away money because
the dealerships are ridiculous.
The dealerships and even the people that repair vehicles, oftentimes, they charge you to do a diagnostic and then they're going to charge you to fix the thing. And oftentimes there's things you can do yourself if you just have a few tools and a little bit of
the transmission
ability to kind of look at it.
Yeah, what was it? The transmission service.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the transmission. It just wanted to service it because it had.
And they told you no.
They told me no. The dealership told me no. And then I called a couple of places here in town that are, I guess, in
transmission shops,
local mechanic shops. And I only had one that told me that they might possibly be able to service the transmission. Several told me no the minute I told them what brand a vehicle it was. They said no. But what is going something has gone on with Nissan and Kia because we pay our insurance on our three vehicles every 6 months.
Yeah.
We come due in, I think it's April and October. And for some reason, we have State Farm insurance. We've had State Farm insurance on our autos and home for many, many years. And they send the policy and how much you're gonna owe like a month in advance. And we got it's been a couple weeks now. We got the new policies for the next 6 months worth of insurance on the three vehicles. The Jeep and the truck went down. One of them went down like $115. My vehicle actually went up $82.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I understand insurance goes up. Homeowners insurance has definitely gone up. It's absolutely ridiculous. We've never had a claim, and that went up tremendously. But I was questioning, why did two vehicles go down and one went up? So I sent an email to our insurance agent, which is a local office here in Florence that we use that sells State Farm insurance. And I said, can you explain to me why two went down and one went up? And the email that come back said that it had to do with the fact that it was a Nissan, that State Farm had stopped insuring Nissans and Kias unless you were already unless you were already insured. I guess they grandfathered you in. So that's how I was able to still have State Farm insurance on my Nissan Murano. And in her email, she said because of the TikTok debacle. And I don't really understand. And honestly, I hadn't looked it up to see what that might mean.
So if anybody out there knows what that means, let us know because we don't know.
I mean, we're staying with State Farm. Number one, I've called around before, and it's not advantageous to move to a different company,
Right.
home or car, because we've been living in our home 17 years. When you start getting some age on your home, insurance companies will charge you ridiculously to move over to them, or they will not even entertain giving you a quote because of the age of your roof and several other things with your home. So we are staying with State Farm. But I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with what kind of problem insurance companies was having with Nissan and Kia. And if that's the case, did they see a decline in their sales because of it?
I don't know, but I just typed in TikTok debacle Nissan, and there's a lot of things that come up about issues with their transmission, um, just issues in
Yeah, but see,
general.
that don't have anything to do with your auto
What's
insurance.
that got to do with your auto insurance, though? That's weird.
But anyway, we will be staying with State Farm. Number one, because it's way more expensive to go get another vehicle than it is to just pay the 80. It was $82 that mine increased for 6 months. The other two went down, so I think actually we're paying I don't know, a dollar or two less than we did for the previous 6 months. So I don't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know what the whole issue is with TikTok. Why TikTok is involved in your insurance rates. That's ridiculous.
It is most definitely.
But I also have heard a lot of people grumbling about how they feel like Nissan is not Nissan, but State Farm is constantly trying to figure out ways to not insure people for things.
Yeah, and we live in an area, thankfully, where we live in South Carolina, we don't experience a lot of tremendously bad weather. It seems like anytime storms are moving across the U.S., they are usually pretty much died out by the time they get to us. Now we do have the threat of a hurricane during hurricane season, but we happen luckily to live far enough inland that, knock on wood, the 17 years we've been here, we've not seen any. We've not even seen minor damage. I mean, we've had a
Yeah.
shingle or two missing. That, for the most part, has been all that we've had happen.
But you figure everybody else who makes claims, they have to pay for it
Yes.
as well, which is why you have rising rates.
Yes, you can
because you're
definitely
paying
tell
for
that
people's repairs
right.
because they're not in the business to lose money. I mean, and in a way, it's almost like a mafioso kind of mentality of you have to pay us and we can go up on the rate anytime we want. We can charge you whatever you want. You have to go along with it because otherwise, what are your other choices?
Yeah,
You're
right,
not going to have
exactly.
insurance. But you can't not have insurance if you have a mortgage or a lease. You have to have insurance on it legally. So it's almost like they're hand in hand with each other on you're going to pay this money. It's going to be out of your control, and we get to go up on it anytime we want, and you just have to do it.
Yeah, and homeowners insurance, it has gone up every single year
I've
for the
seen things
17 years
online
we've
that
lived here.
I've seen things online that said California with the fires, a lot of the people there were saying that they were not getting money from State Farm for their fires. For whatever reason, they were just denying their claim. Same thing in Florida with the hurricanes, and I don't know if there's truth to that, but it was just again, it's stuff I heard. I heard this on TikTok, and I was like, whoa, holy cow! I don't know what the thing is with Nissan. I don't understand it. Um, it's we we have a good car. We drive safely. Luckily, we haven't had many accidents. I had one where somebody hit me. Didn't cost me out of pocket for my insurance, but they still went up on my rate because they can. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. We're just kind of stuck with it, I guess. The hope and
Insurance
goal.
and taxes, we're stuck with them.
The hope. Yeah, that should be the slogan of this one is insurance and taxes. But I'm hopeful that other companies will come up that maybe don't pay a whole bunch of money for celebrities to be on their commercials and instead give you a savings. I mean, it doesn't even matter. It used to be Geico was the one that was cheaper. And then they started having celebrities and a computer animated gecko and then a caveman and, 1,000 commercials. And it's like, okay, well, you're paying people a whole bunch of money for this advertising campaign that's coming out of my money that I'm paying. Where's the insurance company that no one's heard of that doesn't do commercials? I want them to actually insure me because I don't need them to have commercials to give me coverage. I just need to be able to afford the coverage
Yeah, most
for
definitely.
being safe.
I don't need you to spend $12 million to have commercials during the Super Bowl.
I
I could care
mean,
less.
even for years, USAA used to be for military members and only military members and their families. And then now you got commercials with Sam Elliott and Gronkowski, and it's like, okay, well, now you're using a lot of money to then advertise for your place. And I get it. Everybody wants to make money, and if you don't advertise, you can't get people's business. But can't there just be like a small insurance company that does the coverage and just does their job, and you get to pay them a less bit of money? It seems like that's kind of the broken part is you as a company you want more business and you want to be able to advertise to get more business, but at the same time you piss off people because you keep raising the rates because you're paying for all these. So I don't know what the happy medium is in all that.
I don't know either.
But either way, we're going to end up paying
I know
anyway.
it's just sad to watch all that money walk out the door.
Yeah, yeah,
And in whether it's taxes or insurance.
yeah.
Seems like those are the two highest cost things that we pay
And
every day, every week.
and with new cars, I mean, nowadays you can't go out and buy a new car unless you're willing to pay several $1,000s more than what it normally is, just because car makers are greedy and they're like, we can charge more now because we can. They had a thing on the news recently about that, how auto rates, the cost of a car has jumped up like 10 to 25,000 higher than normal over the last 5 years. And if you look at anything online about it, some people will say, "Oh, it's because of tariffs." No, it's because of greed. They have literally just upped the price because of supply and demand. And companies like Hyundai, who've seen a huge profit growth, no matter what they've raised their rates to, they're just continuing to charge more for the same product, even though they were selling it cheaper 5 years ago, um, just because they can, because
Yeah,
people
I work
still
with
want it.
people that have a higher car payment than they do mortgage.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, and you think about the fact that you buy a vehicle that costs uh, $80,000.
That's a lot of doll
That's a
hairs.
lot of doll hairs for
Yeah,
a car, and then you drive it down the road for rocks and stuff to get slung up on it that you have absolutely no control over while you're driving in traffic.
yeah.
I mean, that's not to mention the fact that the minute you drive it off the lot, it depreciates some ungodly amount. I was listening to what's the financial guy that does
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey talk about how much a vehicle depreciates the minute you sign on the dotted line, even before you drive it off the lot. Whenever you sign for it, the depreciation is ungodly, the amount of money that it's no longer worth
Yeah.
that you've still got to pay. So, I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the difference between a vehicle and a home. And I guess maybe that's why I've always, don't get me wrong, I want to drive a nice vehicle for comfort, but I don't look at a vehicle the way most people do. I see it as I see it as a necessity for getting myself back and forth to work so that I can pay my bills.
Yeah.
I always have.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't necessarily see it that way.
Yeah. And also, like we were talking about, cars and ACs and stuff like that. It's interesting to think back on. I remember a large amount of time where it was not uncommon to get in cars with no AC, and I don't remember it being that big a deal. We just rolled down the windows
Sweated our butts off.
and
Oh yeah, I
let the
remember.
air
It was
fly.
hot. It was warm.
It was warm, but the air flowed.
But I also grew up in South Georgia with no air conditioning in the home.
Right.
Yeah, there's no doubt about the fact that
I
yeah,
remember when attic fans first came out.
we are spoiled.
My grandparents got an attic fan and they turned that on, and all of a sudden all the cool air from outside blew through the windows and got sucked up into the attic, and I was like, man, this is nice. And I could just lay on the floor and take a nap. You laid on the floor because it was always colder, on the floor
Well, like I say, we're definitely
with a
spoiled
box fan in front of you.
this
I
day
remember
and
me and
time.
my uncle Danny taking naps in front of a box fan just because we were so hot we couldn't breathe. But you get in front of that box fan, man, you were out. Just that
Or
was
you
it.
put the box fan in front of a window, put it in the window, and push the window like with a screen. It had a screen on it,
Yeah.
of course, and you push the window down on top of the box fan so that it would stay there.
Yep.
And then it would, especially once the sun went down, it would draw that cool air, dampness, and all the other things it drew into the house.
Then you wake up and it's raining and you're like, no, 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 I'm gonna ruin my
Yes,
box fan. Ah. Yeah.
most definitely.
Yeah. And now we're like, I'm a little chilly. Can you get me a blanket?
It's 80 degrees
It's
outside. Turn the
it's
air conditioner
it's
on.
72. Can you cool it off a little bit? I'm so pampered. Yeah. And we're pampered. We are.
Not to mention the fact that we do that with our phones on our way home to make sure that the house is cool enough or warm enough so that whenever we arrive, it is nice.
We're going the full gamut of we grew up as Flintstones and we're retiring as Jetsons.
I guess.
We're going the full Hanna-Barbera of gamut of our life here within cartoons, like kind of mimicking our life. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. But yeah, so got through the week. Everybody's back in health and doing their jobs and kind of muddling along
Yeah.
here. And I thought during the week, I was like, I know there's some things coming up. I got to work on your vehicle, but we need to test some things. So I can't really do everything every day. I kind of need to wait for things to happen. So we had bought a Lego set when we were down in Disney this past
December.
time, and I had not had time to put it together. It was a big set, one of the biggest sets I've ever put together. And I thought, this is going to take a really long time. I know I have to get things set up with a table and with lighting and the camera because I film it and put it on YouTube, and you can check those out. But I had gotten it right when the show Skeleton Crew had hit Disney Plus, and I was surprised that when we were at Disney in December that they actually had the set for the ship that the kids were using on the show. It was called the ship is called the Onyx Cinder, and it's like a pirate ship. It's made to look really rough, but I thought, man, this is so cool. They got the Onyx Cinder actually as the Lego set with the characters. This is cool. So
It was a little pricey too, wasn't it?
yeah, but we went ahead and got it, and I had some bonus money stuff from work, so that kind of worked out, and was able to kind of get that and bring it home. And I put it together this week. Took me about 6 hours total. I did a little bit here and there, and just filmed it along the way and mushed it together. But this was the most complex set I ever put together, and I remember several times thinking, "There's no way a child could put this together." There's really not. There's portions of it where it's hard to do as an adult man just because my hands don't fit to do the little delicate things. But there's parts where you really have to muscle these things and coordinate them through. And I thought, whose kid is able to do this? This is really hard. This is more like an adult set.
I guess it depends on how often you've done them.
I guess.
But I see it on TikTok all the time. Adults, I don't see kids, which I don't see kids putting together Legos and getting the new releases. I see adults doing it. I mean, there's a couple of
Well, I
people out
couldn't
there
afford
that
them when I was young, but I can now.
there's a
So
couple of people out there that have like just about everything that's been released. They
yeah.
wait for new releases. I watched a guy one evening just recently uh said there was a new release. It's Jurassic Park, and this might have been an old video. I don't know. Um, it was a T Rex,
Really?
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Is that
How
what
big was it?
over 4 foot long?
Mm.
Once he got it all together, and the tail moved on it.
Mm.
It was pretty neat looking. And of course he was in a room
4 feet long.
he was in a room filming where the walls
That's as
were
big as this table I'm sitting at.
yeah.
Holy cow.
The room was completely lined with shelving of just the most awesome Legos that I ever seen. The Hogwarts castle, Cinderella's castle, just really, really big Lego sets.
I want to put those together, but also we don't have castle space.
No, we do not have that kind of space.
We're running out of regular space.
But some of those things come with like thousands and thousands of pieces.
Yes. So that Onyx Cinder set had I think it's 16 bags of Legos, and the book on it was so thick. I was like, golly,
yeah,
this is gonna
well,
be
this one that I watched this guy put together had
hard.
It had 4 books.
Yeah. What was bad was I would finish with a bag, and I'm filming this too. I'd finish with a bag and I'd see some pieces that look like they should not be extra. And I'm like, oh, I missed something. And I'd have to like pause the video and flip back and go, where did I miss this? I'm like, oh crap. And I have to take it apart and put it back together in different ways and go, okay, here it goes. But yeah, that was
and see, I don't ever see that on TikTok. Maybe they edit that part out.
Of course they edit that part out. I always remember there's a lady that does it, and she'll be watching the show behind her, having to do with what she's doing, and it always breaks apart into these little, like, I don't know if they're like 5-second little clips of her going, oh cool, and then she's
yeah,
and it's like, okay, that's some brilliant editing. I don't know how you do that, but
they've time lapsed it and the clicking part,
the click sound,
yes.
That's got to be some kind of like program that you can do where you have the sound and you match the
I don't know.
I don't understand that kind of editing. There's just it's a different level of editing that I just don't have them.
Well, when you have millions of viewers, you can spend time doing that.
I guess.
Because I guess that's your job.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. 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 Probably.
I don't know.
Where does she put them all? That's just the crazy part.
I have no idea.
She's got so many of them. But yeah, I'm just amazed at how people are so crafty. Yeah.
Yep. We got a few things coming up. We actually are going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of town the next 2 weekends in a row. We will be out of town together next weekend.
Yeah.
We're going up to the Elizabethtown, Ivanhoe, North Carolina area. We have a friend that's moved up there, just moved into a new house on the lake that they built. So we're going to spend the weekend up there. And then the next weekend, I'm going back to go to the Wilmington area to see a musical.
Yeah.
And I want to, Easter's coming up. We've got a lot of things going on.
I don't even have my Easter basket.
I've got to work on kids' Easter baskets.
Yeah. We were able to spend some time yesterday with our grandson too. That was fun.
Yep.
He's just about to where he can walk. He's getting really close.
Yeah, he's spending several seconds standing on his own.
Yeah.
And when he takes that first step, he just falls. So he's going to get it.
He'll get it soon. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a birthday coming up in April. Matter of fact, his birthday falls on Easter Sunday. Not Easter Sunday, but Easter weekend. Okay. His birthday's like the Saturday before Easter. He'll be a year old. And then we've got his birthday party coming up, which is being done a little bit later because of Easter. You don't want to have a birthday party on Easter. Everybody else is busy.
Plus, he's young enough; he doesn't remember.
Yeah, and most definitely, he's not going to know that his birthday.
He's not going to
party's 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
but I could see this kid tearing up a smash cake.
Yeah,
Jackson, our oldest, did not even want to touch it. We had to put little things on it to entice him to even put his fingers on the icing. Lawson, I don't think it's going to be that way. I think he's going to dive face first into it. So,
speaking of face first, if anybody's seen Invincible, the latest season. That's a pretty good reference. Face first. Um, pretty wild show. So, but yeah, I'm watching something cool right now. That I didn't see when it came out, but there's like two seasons on Netflix. It's just called Mo. It's about a comedian who grew up in Houston. He's actually from Palestine, and his family had to run away from the area when Saddam Hussein took over Kuwait, and his family was displaced, and they ended up in the Houston area. And then for years, he just didn't have a passport, and he was trying to get his stuff done, and all kinds of craziness happened to his life. And the show is basically kind of based on his life, but it's pretty wild. They're like 30 minutes long episode or 22 minutes long because of commercials that used to be there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty quick. It goes by very fast, but it's good stuff. What are you watching?
Nothing really.
You're watching something on Nature
Oh,
this
I
morning.
just found a bug thing this or an animal. I'm more about the National Geographic bugs and
So what was it on?
I'm not sure. This one's like 5 episodes. I only watched one episode.
On
It's
Disney?
Disney Plus. Yeah, it's National Geographic on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Animals and how they are how we have they have so much in common with us.
Oh,
So it looked like 5 episodes, about 45 minutes long. I just watched the first episode. I'm not sure why those kind of things I like to watch. I'd rather watch that than I had get involved in any kind of a series. I'm not sure why. I don't know what that says about me.
you made a comment that there's a show I watch that's coming on. I don't even know what you were talking about.
I saw it advertised on either Facebook or TikTok. It's the one with the guy that played the Mandalorian and the girl, the
Oh,
kid.
The Last of Us,
Okay, yeah, that one's coming.
based on the video game.
I did
Yeah,
see where that's coming back on.
yeah, yeah. Pedro Pascal. He made a comment that filming this season was sad to him because he and the co-star didn't get a lot of scenes together. So over the first season, they spent a lot of time together, and this season, they don't have a whole lot that they're doing together. And
She
he's like,
looks very young, but she's the one that played in Game of Thrones, right?
yeah,
She played the young
the bear.
queen. Yeah,
Yeah,
she played the young, not a queen, but basically like she was heir to an area because her parents were dead and she was very young,
the
right?
Bear Clan.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had not seen her in anything. Of course, I didn't watch. I watched Game of Thrones, but I did not watch Last of Us.
Oh, it's good. It's really
I'll
good.
take your word for it.
It is really good.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I didn't play the game because it was exclusive to PlayStation, and again, it's one of those things where you got to pick a tribe, and I picked Xbox, and for whatever reason, because you can't afford both. Most people can't afford both. But yeah, the storyline was good, and apparently this is right in line with that, so that's pretty cool.
But other than that, it's just we're staying busy,
Paying taxes,
paying taxes, paying auto insurance, homeowners
trying to
insurance,
fix a Nissan. We'll figure it out.
just trying to survive
If
in
I
this dog eat dog world.
if I do get this thing figured out and it turns out being the battery, oh, I'll be so happy because then I'll finally have it done and I can stop cursing Nissan. I can just blame the battery people that made a bad battery. And I really think it is that, but I don't know for 100% sure yet. But we'll see. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. You got anything to promote?
No, nothing exciting going on.
You're not going
right
on
now.
tour or nothing like that?
No, not on tour just yet. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gearing up for that later.
Okay. Okay. Hair and makeup team.
Yeah, I gotta hire. I gotta
Live
hire.
right outside.
I gotta hire a spackling team, spackle and mud team.
I hear you. All righty. Well, everybody else, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. If you've got something you want to be part of, let us know. Yeah, we're all just trying to figure it out. We're doing our best. So, y'all take care. Thanks for listening. And as always, cue the cow.
Cue the cow.